Hey, welcome back. How you doing? First, I'd like to thank you guys for comments on the last video and all the other videos. Doing great, thank you. Especially the bits about the saw handle, which people who just look at this won't know about the saw handle. Anyhow, I want to show you how far we've got. That piece is now, obviously we're getting on with the camera. That piece is fitted and, oh sorry, this is how I'm storing it. Yeah, I'm making sure nothing moves because it just wants to do its own thing. Anyhow, you can see what I've done. The grain is now running straight the way across. It's making a fabulous job. And I thought I'd show you this. This is the offcut off there, and obviously that's the bit that the saw blade takes out. So that comes out, but I just love things like this, seeing the grain matching up, and I don't know. Funny, I suppose. But anyhow, that can come out, and I can then focus on, and I think we'll do this together. We'll get this other piece glued in, but you're gonna have to go in the C stand because I want to show you something I've done with this. So yes, this piece goes into there, but a little bit more than you think. So I'll put you in the stand. Oh, you could chuck the kettle on. You could do yourself a nice cup of tea, which I still haven't done because I'm busy. So let's calm it down. Take it easy. Put you in the stand. And then I'll show you what I'm doing with that loose tongue because it's quite different, I think. But you'll appreciate why I'm doing it. So back in a sec. Not sure what it is. Not sure what it is, but some days the lights really flicker and it's not as easy to show you what I'm up to. So, right, here's the piece of mahogany that's going across the bottom of that door. And this is the loose tongue. And if you remember, the grain's going that way on the one side and on the other it's going that way. Well, I've had a good think about this, and it actually breaks easier from one side than it does from the other. And I thought, well, how can I stop it from breaking easier one way and the other? I don't want it stronger one way and the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it up into pieces about an inch long, and we're going to alternate them. And by alternating them, it's strong both ways, isn't it? So it makes sense. So I'm just going to chop these up, and then I'll get the door out and we'll have a look. Okay, so I'll get on with that. I'll pour myself a cup of tea, so let's sort that out as well. Right, they're done. So all I'm going to do is alternate them and glue them in there. And I think that'll do a pretty good job. What do you think? So, that's good. I want to show you something else while I'm here, because we went to get something yesterday. So on here, so when my frame comes into, let's pull you out a bit so you can see what's going on. So when the frame comes in here, this, which is like a velvet ribbon, stops the daylight. Look at it. Stops the daylight coming in. So last night we went somewhere, and I'm going to insert the clip. This is getting good now. I'm going to insert the clip here. Ah, there you go, ribbon, and this is where it goes. So this is worth noting. The ribbon is about just a bit more than less than half inch down there on that surface. Notice the dark black on the inside of the velvet ribbon and brown above it. So that's the one side. Don't forget my cartridge fits in here, but also the I've got to lift the door out of there, the door that I'm just about to start making soon. The door's got to come out of there, so it's going to come past that velvet, and it needs to come past the velvet in here, wherever it is. Where is it? There you go. So this is the other part of the ribbon has got to go down here. So I'll set up a scratch stock. I've started making it. I'll set up a scratch stock. That's the correct width for the ribbon. There's a bit of ribbon, and that's where it's going to be coming through. I'm going to cut that corner out to use this as the register against the frame, and it's going to take a little bit out of there, and that ribbon will fit in that little bit, that groove that it makes. So that's a little tool to get on with. Let's put that in the vise. Do you remember I said I was going to chop it into little bits and pieces? Well, here they are. I've even squared the ends off so I don't have any grief with it. And what I did when I glued these in, and I think it's good for me to hold on to you guys for a minute, is when I glued them in, I left a little bit of space on the end. Why did you leave a bit of space, Jamie? I left a bit of space so that I could add where is it? Can you see that? So I've put a little bit of mahogany tongue back in there, nice and tight, matching veneer rather than a bit of plywood. So I'm going to glue this on. You might as well watch if you want. Right, double checked everything. Quick slurp of the old before I get going. And I can't remember whether you watched the last one or not. Can you? Anyhow, let's run some glue down here. From the last one, I've learnt that I probably need to put a layer of glue, a smear of the glue over here as well. I know that I've got the funniest little piece that, excuse me, I'm going to drop in the middle. And from there, I'm going to, I could start at an end, but I'm going to get glue everywhere if I start at an end. See what I mean? Stomach's rumbling, I'm a bit hungry. This is good. See the glues in everywhere? Great stuff. I'll be cramping this up in a minute. That one this way round. So yeah, alternating them has got to make a difference. I feel it's got to make the joint stronger. Look at all that filling full of glue. What I'm going to do now, knowing what a pain it is removing all the glue later, when I'm trying to put a little piece in the end here, is I'm going to remove as much of it as I can now. Down this way. Come on, little pieces. Yeah, I mean, this is just, as I say, it's the joint has got to be good. But alternating these has got to be even better. It's got to be even stronger. So that's my theory anyway. So this is what I do. Look at all the glue oozing out. Need a scrap piece to. That's just a touch too long. So I'm just going to. Let me just show you. I'm just going to chisel that off. Only a bit off the end. Wow, all the glue's in out. I'd rather have too much glue on than not enough. Let me just clean this out here. I just don't want it in that end really, if I can prevent it from filling the end. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go over that with, I'm just going to put a smear of glue on the top, using my fingers against the board plank panel. Use my fingers against there, and now I'm just going to run a little bit of wood. Let's take some of that and put it over there at an angle. You can see what it's doing. It's running up the side of there. Up the side of there. That's great. All the way across the top. It's not worth the risk of getting too little glue on it. You know, this joint is doing it's got to do a good job, a really good job. It's not only jointing to the other piece, but it's also stopping the resistance of movement. So worth doing, I think. Worth doing properly. This is looking pretty good. Nice layer of glue on there. Let's just scrape that off. Put it onto there. That'll come flying out in a bit. There you go. Right, let's get this thing on. It goes this side. I've got a couple of marks on here where to work to. Pull that down. There you go, she's on. And I'll clamp it up, and then we'll go over it again in a minute once she's clamped up. So I've just glued this one up. Again, it's about the delicacies of cramping. I've got some weight on there. I don't want a gap here. I don't want it distorting the position of the timber joint. So these really are just, watch this, watch this. Let me zoom out a bit. Oh, wrong way, sorry. Let me zoom out a bit. These really are loose, pinched up. The joint's looking good. No problems with the joint. Again, loose, pinched up. Bit of weight across the joint to keep it down. If I was concerned about it, so let's have a look. I mean, it's lifting that side up, but I'm not worried about that side. From here all the way down to this piece of wood, it's sitting flat. There's a little bit of play there. I could now just gently put a G-clamp on the end. In fact, I think I will. I'll put a couple of G-clamps on here to make sure that this end is staying flat down here to the table. That way then I'm just making sure that I'm getting as horizontal, as flat a surface as possible. That's what I'm after. Well, the G-clamps are in place. So that should be good now. That should be good. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here now. I'm just getting on with the little scratch stock. Found some screws out. Just going to put a pilot hole through, hit these. And, well, you can stay with me if you want for a bit. Oh, there you go. Oh. Yeah, it happens. So I'm going to screw this together and then screw this together. I want to show you something I do occasionally, and it's worked really well here. Can you see how the pilot drill went straight the way through? But if you look at it like that, you can see that the screws haven't actually come on screen. There you go. The screws haven't actually penetrated the surface. Well, I don't think they have. Well, they might just have done. But the good thing about that is there's no resistance for the screw at all. It's just threading into that pilot hole, which is a great way of doing it. So no resistance, it's nice thread. So now I can just undo that bit. Anyway, next thing to do is chop this bit out. So I'll just go and do that. I'll come back to you guys in a sec. I've just been and measured how much clearance I need for the scratch stock to do the little channel, and it's 0.4 of a mil, which is pretty tight. So let's just set this up. I think I'm probably going to have to take this apart to get the blade in. There you go. Let's do this. So that goes in there like that. And put it in the right place. And I want to do it about 1/2 a mil. So I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit. And I've got this to set it up to, so luckily I've got a lamp here and I can see exactly what's going on. So the depth gauge part of this is set up. You can probably just make out there's a gap in the... Oh, not very good at trying to do things for the camera. Anyway, there's 1/2 a mil gap. So all I've got to do is just pull this down. 1/2 a mil or so. That's it. I bet you can't even... Oh, if I do that, there you go, you can see it. That's about 1/2 a mil. So this isn't brilliantly square, but it's all right. It'll do the job. Just gonna... There you go. Right, I think I'll bring the door over and we'll have a go at that and see if we can get this little thing working. But it looks all right, doesn't it? Look at that. There you go, lucky you. So I've moved you around to this side of the bench. See that little step there? There's another one up here. You can't really see it, but it's there. So just having a go with this little scratch stock. It's only got to do that 0.4 of a mil. Anyhow, let's get this sorted. That's nice. Yes, that's good. Clean it out a bit. Right. You know what, I'm going to stop there. You can see what it's done. It's looking pretty good, isn't it? So let's stop that there. So I've just set this up. And running the wheel marking gauge up and down a couple of times. And can you see it pretty good? Yeah, that looks alright. That looks alright. So I can get the scratch stock back. There we go. Just going to take a little bit more out. Nice to use the scratch stock this way around, directly with the pressure going down onto the bench. It's doing a good job. It's doing a good job, and now with those little shoulders created by the marking gauge. Oh, look at that. So you can see where I'm going to. So This will nearly be done, and then we'll catch back up. I've tried to put you in a position where you can see what's going on. I know you can see this one now, you can't see the other edge there. But what I'm doing, and I hope I don't cover, I think I am covering what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm going down it and I'm just digging that trench there a little bit deeper. Not that way, down in depth. The idea is to try and give the ribbon a really good, secure gluing surface down there and up here. And on the other one, what I've noticed is this is slightly rounded, this is slightly taller. So I don't know whether they could have gone down here sort of like that, or with a jig, with a scratch knock or something, and just taken more off that side, and then the other side. They could have done it with chisel. It, as I said, it does look like it's been done almost freehand, which is what I'm doing now. So, and I'm doing this left-handed. I don't know whether you can tell. So this isn't really the direction I would go, but just so that you guys can see what's going on. And the other alternative is you can scratch it, so you could do that. You've got that little, I've got that little ledge to sit against, so if I just scratch it like that, I'm happy with that. Well, there you go. Thank you for joining me. It's looking all right, isn't it? There's that little bit of, there you go, that's what we're looking at. Well, I hope you've learned something from what I've done today. It's always good, comments are great. It's always good to know that you guys are learning or just enjoying what I'm doing. I appreciate the support from buying me a coffee. So thank you very much to the guys who've recently bought me a coffee. I do appreciate it. And another video really quite soon, because I don't know whether you can feel it, but we're gathering momentum now. So yeah, shouldn't be too long now. I know I've got the other door to make, but shouldn't be too long. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.